morning, everybody. Today I'm making a cookie that I've been thinking of for a long time. It would come to my memory, I was like 5 or so whenever I first tasted this cookie that I can remember. And in researching online, I found a cookie, and let me see what it was called back then. And I'm going to put a link, or I'm going to put this picture up for you all. It was called Cherry Winks, the $5,000 cookie. I'm going to include the picture in this video so you all can see it. And it does have the recipe included, but I'm making a different version. I am going to make the version that uses butter. I've added the butter to my stand mixer, and that's 10 tablespoons. And I'm going to just start these creaming. And I've had these at room temperature for a few hours, so it's pretty soft. The next thing that I'm going to add to it is 1 cup of sugar. I mix up my recipes some, and I was really tempted to add some brown sugar and take away a little of the white, but I'm going to do it almost exactly like the old recipe from 1950 that won the prize. And I keep thinking, yeah, but people's tastes have changed a little bit since then, but I think I'm kind of nostalgic, and I think I want to do it the way my mom did it, so that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to let this cream. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of milk to it. That's something that I'm not used to doing with cookies either. So I'm wondering if this is going to come out with like a chewy taste or chewy texture, or more like a texture that would be a little bit more cake-like. We'll see. I've got 2 large eggs at room temperature. I'm going to put the milk in. This is 2 tablespoons of just whole milk. And I'm going to do 1 egg at a time and let them blend well. That's what the recipe said. That's blended well. Here's egg number 2. Okay, that's all creamed well together. So I'm adding a teaspoon. I always do just a little bit of a full lid for my teaspoon. I'm going to cream this together. And then I've got my flour. Let's see, I've got 2 1/3 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and it said ½ teaspoon of kosher salt, and I just put in the salt that I use, which I use like a pink Himalayan salt. You all use whatever you want to use. Then it said be sure and sift just a little at a time to let it blend well. So I'm going to just do that. I'm just going to put in a little at a time. Okay, I've got this all mixed. It's just a nice cookie dough looking mixture. And I'm getting ready to add all the goodies to it. First thing I'm going to add is, it turned out to be a ½ cup of chopped maraschino cherries. It's pretty. If dough can be pretty, this is pretty. Okay, y'all see it? It's pretty. Okay, the next thing is 14 dates. And it says diced. What I did is I cut them up. So there's 14 of those little jobbies there. And I did eat 1, but I kept the 14 correct. You know, as I was putting this together in my mind this morning, I was thinking, well, I do think it had dates in it, but I was kind of remembering a date cookie that my mom made. So, you know, with a 4 or 5-year-old memory, I'm thinking maybe I have the same cookie in mind. But I'm so anxious to eat one. And then the next thing that goes in are pecans, chopped pecans. And it said toasted. I didn't toast these pecans. These pecans are ready to eat. You know, they're from the bag, ready to eat. I rarely toast the pecans unless it's just going to be pecans. So this is a half cup of pecans. So I don't know how these couldn't be good, but it's got all this goodness in it. Do y'all ever feel like your wrist is weak when you're baking? I feel like my wrist gets weak sometimes trying to stir this thick stuff. I'm just amusing myself here this morning. The dogs are taking a nap. I'm feeling better. But I said dog, and if you hear click, click, click on the floor, that's my son's dog, Gracie. She's been in some of my outdoor videos that are quite interesting. If you have seen them, you'll know what I mean. She goes all around the perimeter checking everything out when I'm doing my summer garden videos. She's quite the dog. But anyway, mine is deaf. My little dog, she's real old and she's deaf, and she's taking a nap right now because she saw there were not going to be any good eats for a while. They had their breakfast, they had a snack. I mean, I run a doggy daycare. Come rain or shine, there's a doggy daycare going on. Now, I've got my oven. I want to get everything off of here. I've got my oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and I've got my pans ready. They're lined with parchment paper. Do you all buy your parchment paper if you use parchment paper? Not everybody does. You know how it's in the roll and it's just like poing and you can't get it to lay down? Here's what you do. You just take it, you just crumble it up. Don't tear it off like I just did. Crumble it up and just flatten it out and it will stay. And that's such an easy thing compared to other things I've tried. Well, my recipe can go over here now because I have this in my memory. So the next thing I'm going to do is take out a tablespoon and I'm going to roll it in these crushed cornflakes. And those cornflakes, I just crushed them. It said not to crush too much, you know, just kind of get them a little crushed, but it's okay if you've got a full cornflake on there. I mean, when we're cooking, does everybody get it like exactly to the letter? I never have. I mean, it may turn out that way because of luck, but it's not because I'm trying to be perfection, that's for sure. I'm gonna be disappointed if these don't bring back great memories of those cookies around Christmas time. I was gonna make a date roll for y'all today too, because that's my favorite candy. I've got that one down by heart, other than the fudge recipe I made. Now enjoy these. And like I said the other day, with the saltine crackers, that toffee is so good. I said I'm going to sit down with this and have a cup of coffee, and I did. Okay, these are going in 375 for 10 to 12 minutes, and I'm going to show you what they look like when they come out. I'm hoping they're going to be good. I got messy hands, that's for sure. Okay, here they are out of the oven. I still have a dozen in, so I've got a total of 3 dozen. So for the sake of being like totally honest with you all, I missed a step with the first batch that went in the oven. Do you see these? They don't have that cherry there in the middle. And that's 1/4 of a maraschino cherry cut up and put in the middle. They were already in and starting to cook, and I thought, oh, I missed the step. And that's the step that make these cookies really pretty well known when you look at them. So people will recognize them more for that. I will tell you, the dates are plentiful in that. 14 dates was a lot of dates. It tastes like a date cookie. I love dates, but if you don't like dates that much, you'll cut back in them. And another thing, I have seen people, now that after I started researching it, saw people do, instead of rolling it in the cornflakes, which I think was really kind of a nice added thing, that bit of crunch. some people actually say that they use coconut. They roll it in coconut. So there you have it. Merry Christmas to everybody. Bye.